So welcome to Raising Healthy Families. I'm glad all of you are here tonight. This is one of the, I think, most important things that I could teach, because if our goal is really generational health, helping people get healthy, stay healthy through family and lifestyle changes, we got to be talking about children's health, right? Yeah, we need to make sure that kids are getting healthy. But the thing is, I see a lot of parents here. I see a lot of grandparents here. I see a lot of adults here that may not have kids. Because as you become an adult, you are going to be a role model for children. You're not going to have a healthy kid and a sick parent, or vice versa. So we need to lead by example, whether you're the grandparent, an aunt or uncle, a cousin, but you need to be showing off by example what to do and what not to do if we really want to have healthy children. So as you guys all know, because most of you are patients already, as a Max Living doctor, we've dedicated our lives to changing what we call healthcare in the United States. We call it healthcare, and I put quotations around it because do we actually have a healthcare system? No, there is no system for health in the United States. We have what we should really call a sick care system, because you don't enter the quote-unquote healthcare system until you've lost your health. That's not health care, that's sick care. Let's wait until you get sick, then what are we going to do for you guys? We're going to give you what? Yes. Pills and medication, right? And when the pills and medication don't work, they're going to send you to a specialist who's going to run a special test to figure out which special drug they're going to give you. And when that doesn't work, they're going to send you to somebody who's going to cut a piece of you out. Because if you think about it, what two tools do your medical doctors and providers have? Drugs and surgery. That's their answer for everything, right? Has your doctor ever taught you how to eat better or exercise? No. They just want to give you pills because you know what? That's a lot easier. But they may have said, eat right, you need to lose some weight, you need to exercise, right? They might say these things. Do they ever sit you down and explain to you how to do it properly? No. Because their job is not to get you healthy, it's to give you medication. And that's the problem. Now, the big problem, one of my big whys as to why I do what I do is, if you think about it, raise your hand if you like going and taking your children to the medical doctor. Raise your hand, yeah, I love it, right? Christine. Raise your hand if you want to give your kids more drugs. Raise your hand if you want to give your child a surgery. Not one hand has gone up. Does that make any sense for that to be the first stop for healthcare? Then why are we letting it be our first stop? And I can tell you why we're letting it, because are we given any other option? No, because what's everybody doing? Everybody's living in what we call the medical model, which is do nothing to prevent you from losing your health, so that when you lose your health, you're going to a doctor, taking lots of drugs, and having surgeries, because they said that that's the only option. And when that doesn't work, then let's look for a different option. Why don't we reserve the medical model for what it's really good for, which is saving your life in a crisis and maybe necessary surgeries, and that's it. And let's look for a new model of health, which is what we call max living. It doesn't matter how old you are, how many kids you have or don't have. It's about living the healthiest life you can. We only get one chance at this. Why are we messing around? Why are we running to take drugs? Again, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of things tonight, like antibiotics. We're going to talk about trusting the body. We're going to talk about vaccinations. We're going to talk about lack of exercise. We're going to talk about screen time. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things that are going to pertain not just to the children, but to us adults as well. And like I said, just because you don't have a child doesn't mean you don't need to know all this information, because this is pertinent to every human being on this earth. So children's health has declined immensely over the past 20 years. Obesity has tripled in the last 20 years. Diabetes has gone up. What's the number one cause of death in children besides an accident? Cancer. Go back 100 years ago, didn't happen. What's changing? Food, screens, society. What? Pesticides. Our environment. All these things are changing. Are they changing for the better, though? But we still allow people to tell us that we're doing great when we're not. And I don't know if you guys know, there's one body that dictates all of our health when it comes to the medical model of health. Do you guys know what, body's not the right word, agency. What agency puts out all the regulations for health? Do you guys know who it is? It's here, the CDC. The CDC. The CDC are the ones who create the guidelines for the United States. But I'm going to show you some statistics that have happened under their direction. And I want you to tell me if we're doing a good job. Let's read this. One of the highest infant mortality rates out of all industrialized nations under the CDC guidelines. Almost half of the children have at least one chronic disease or diagnosis. This is getting worse, and this is ridiculous. Pediatric cancer is the leading cause of death. 1 in 7 children are on an antipsychotic medication. 1 in 6 children are learning disabled. 1 in 12 suffer with asthma. 1 in 5 are diagnosed with an emotional, mental, or behavioral disorder. 1 in 5 children are obese. 1 in 13 have allergies, and now 1 in 59 children autism.
Just to clarify, this is in the U.S.
This is in the United States.
I think they're doing great.
You think they're doing great? Yeah. It is disgusting. It's because I don't agree the fact that we have a one-size-fits-all healthcare program, which is not healthcare whatsoever. Do you agree that we need to do something different? Okay. Well, I am glad every single one of you is here because you are doing that something different. You are going to be going down a different path to make sure that this doesn't become one of your children. Sound like a plan? Yes? Good. Because kids are now being diagnosed with adult conditions, like heart disease. This study was done a few years ago. New England Journal of Medicine, the most prestigious medical journal, they autopsied 200 children who were involved in fatal accidents. What they found that was between ages 2 and 15, 10% already had coronary artery plaquing. 35% of kids 16 to 20 had plaquing, and over 70% had plaquing by their mid-20s. What does that tell you? Is what they're eating good for them? No. But when we feed our kids junk food, things on the kids menu, we think it's no big deal because they're kids, right? They're resilient, no big deal. But you keep doing it, and you keep doing it, and next thing you know, you have a 25-year-old having coronary artery disease. That's a problem. That is a problem. And now, they've approved cholesterol medication for children 8 years old. God forbid you change your diet. You know why they don't? Because it's so much easier to take the drug. Take the drug, don't do any work, and just keep doing what you're doing because it's making those doctors lots of money.
And the corporations.
But, look, that's ridiculous. Do you think we're over-medicated? The answer is absolutely. In the United States, we only comprise 5% of the world's population, yet we consume over 75% of the world's supply of medication. Since 1990, you guys know what methylphenidate is? Ritalin has increased over 700%. Have you guys ever taken the test to find out if you can get diagnosed with ADHD? It's 10 questions. You need to have 6 of those things happen to you. We all have ADD. Yeah. You want the drug? Just go tell the doctor, I can't focus. You now have that diagnosis. There's your medication. It's ridiculous. Chronic use of steroids and antibiotics. Kids now get 49 doses of over 14 vaccinations before the age of 6. When I was a child, we had 6 doses. That was the end. 49 doses of 14 different vaccinations up to age 6. And do you know when they're giving you that child the first dose? 24 hours. For 24 hours of this baby being born into this world, they're putting a man-made BS chemical injecting that baby for hepatitis B. Guess who gets hepatitis B? IV drug users and prostitutes. Why the hell are they giving every child that's born Hep B vaccine? If your doctor prescribes drugs without asking about your diet and lifestyle, you are dealing with a dealer, not a healer. That is a powerful statement. Because that just tells me, what are you there for? I'm here for the drugs, doc. That's what you're saying. That's what they know you're there for, which is why they prescribe you the drugs, because they know if they don't prescribe it, and that's what you're there for, you're going to go somewhere else to get the drugs. They have become drug dealers, and it's awful. Those people are brilliant. They have great minds. They want to help people just like I do, but their hands are tied by the AMA. And again, what tools do they have? Drugs and surgery. I don't want to go to the doctor who that's the only answer. I want to go to a doctor who that's not the answer. That's the last resort. So instead of focusing on drugs and what drug you need or are deficient in, which we know is not true, we're going to focus on your lifestyle. And we do that through the Max Living 5 Essentials. We talk about chiropractic, turning your power on from the inside out so your body can heal and function properly. Talk about giving your body good nutrition and removing bad nutrition. We're going to talk about mindset. That's actually where we're going to start. We're talking about movement. We're going to talk about that with the kids and minimizing your exposure to toxins. And I can tell you, when you do all 5 of those things together, this is where the magic happens. This is where your life will change. But it takes work, doesn't it? It takes effort. And I'm going to tell you right now, in the beginning of making these changes, it takes more effort because you're making lots of changes. It's just like driving a motorboat. To get up on top of the water, you need a lot of horsepower to get up there. You have to go full force. It's hard work. Once it gets up on that plane, you can turn it down to about half speed and still go the same speed because it doesn't take as much effort. Kim, that's about right, right? You guys have yeah, she gets it. She knows about. Okay. All right.
I never want to pull it back down.
Why would you? You just want to keep going fast. That sounds like you. Okay. By the way, this is Kim back there is our farmer that we get all the strawberries from. We get the eggs from. Yes. She's got veggies and all the fun stuff. So it's a Cox family farm. So I did want to promote you a little bit because we love you. It's nice to know your farmer. I know where my eggs come from. I know where my strawberries come from. I know where my vegetables come from sometimes. And my wonderful lettuce that lasts 4 weeks in the fridge, I know where that comes from. And they do taste so good. Yes. Okay. So we're going to start with mindset, changing our mind. This is the most important thing I could teach you tonight. I want you to all to write this down. If you want to text your friend, text your hubby that's not here, text somebody that needs to hear this. Your body is always doing the right thing at the right time. This is a huge statement. This right here is going to change the way you think about your health. It's going to change the way you manage your health. It's going to change the way you do everything for you and your family. And I want to give you some examples. Is a fever a good thing or a bad thing? We said I heard lots of good. Did anybody say bad? You don't need to tell me if you did or not. But we all think it's good. Most of us think it's good, but we've all been trained that it's bad because it means you're sick and you have a fever. So do you feel good when you have a fever? No. Your child has a fever. There's nothing worse than watching your child moan and groan and they don't feel good, right? We want to take their pain away. You call the doctor. What's the doctor going to say to do for the fever? We got to give it down. We got to give them Tylenol. We got to give them Motrin. We got to bring that fever down. We need to reduce the pain so that that little kid can feel better. You know what they just did? They interfered with the body's innate ability to heal itself. If we understand that we have a fever and we go back and we say, well, if the body is doing the right thing at the right time, what does that mean? My baby needs this fever right now. Because I'm going to tell you right now, that innate intelligence, that intelligence inside of you is smarter than any man ever would be. It has all the intelligence of the entire universe in your brain. That power is there. It knows what it's doing. What is a fever actually doing? It's turning up your internal thermostat to kill off bacteria, kill off viruses, kill off allergens. It's doing exactly what that body needs right then and there. Have my kids had fevers? Sure have. What did I do for it? We don't own a thermometer. We don't have Motrin. We don't have Tylenol. We have none of that stuff in our house ever. My kids have never taken a drug. If your body's doing the right thing at the right time, that body needs the fever to get better. So what are we doing when we're taking medication? We're stopping the body from doing what it's trying to do, which is heal itself. What do I tell you if you have a fever? What should you do? Come here, get adjusted. And guys, I know ones that have kids that have had a fever and got adjusted. What happens to their fever when I adjust them? It spikes. Yes. It goes through the roof. Why? We just removed interference that was keeping it from going as high as it needed to go. And then the baby goes to bed, and they wake up next morning feeling like $1,000,000. Different kid. Happens every time. What did we do? How many drugs did we give that child? None. We worked with the body, not fighting against it. I'm not going to go, well, I'm smarter than that body. It has a fever. We don't want a fever. Let's give it drugs. You made the kid feel well. You made him sick because you interfered. Does this make sense? It's a different way of thinking, isn't it? What about vomiting? Is vomiting good? Yes. Who enjoys it? It is my worst sensation of my life. Like, I would do anything to stop it besides take a drug. Okay, I'm rubbing the points. I'm sniffing peppermint oil. I'm like, I don't want this to happen. But guess what? How do you always feel after you vomit? Great, like $1,000,000. Feel good. Why? What is your body doing when it's vomiting? Getting rid of the bad stuff. Why would we stop that? Because it's miserable? It sucks to happen. Yeah, I get it, but if you stop it from happening, you're keeping in toxins that your body is smart enough to go, I don't want them here. This is bad for us. We got to get rid of it. Now, sometimes we vomit a lot. What do we do then? We need to take a drug for that, right? No. What do we need to just make sure we're doing? Staying hydrated. Yep, we need to drink our water, drink some electrolytes. Even if you're just getting sips in, you need to make sure you're doing that. Now.
So when do you know when you need to have some interference? Because, I do believe that the body is smarter than I am, but it's life. So when do you know when that balance is?
You can call me. I've talked many moms off the cliff of going. Now, sometimes there's a time and place. If your child has a 99-degree fever, is gray, listless, eyes rolling back, I want you to go take that baby in and get checked out. Something's wrong. Okay? I've had kids come in here. Yeah, they brought them in for a fever. I'm like, which one? 103, running around having a good time. I'm not worried about that kid. So, moms in the room, nothing is smarter than mom's intuition. Your gut is always right. Please pay attention to it and ignore every doctor that says anything otherwise. If you're like, something's wrong with my baby, you do what you need to do. You're welcome to call me and say, hey, this is going on. Can I bring him in and get him checked? And I will tell you, I'll be like, I'll drive you. Okay? But most of the time, 99% of the time, we're good. Because fevers are the ones that freak people out. My baby's got 105. Again, my wife said, we don't have a thermometer. Her hand is the thermometer. Mine doesn't work, apparently, because mine's always wrong. Hers is always right, though. So, again, if you have 105, go ahead.
Kids are different, too. Some kids spike fever so much easier than
Sure.
others, and the other kids usually are sick and they hardly have
Correct.
fever.
Mm-hmm.
And I found that if you give them like Tylenol or something, you didn't mention this one, but when you make them feel better, they're not resting like their body
Wants
is
them to.
telling them and needs to do. They're running around playing because that's what kids do.
Correct.
And then they're just making it harder and harder for
To
their body
recover. 100%. This is why we need to listen to our gut. We need to listen to our bodies when we're children. Children don't know any different. They're not going to push through something. They don't know how to do that. But if you have 105 fever and you go to the emergency room, guess what they're going to do? They might give you Tylenol, Motrin. What's that doing? Interfering. There's one danger, and it's not even a danger, but people freak out if it happens. It's a febrile seizure. Do you guys know what that is? It's a seizure caused by too high of a fever. If that happens and you take your child to the emergency room, you know what they're going to say? That's normal. Go home. What is the seizure doing? Watch this. You guys ready? The body's always doing the right thing at the right time. For whatever reason, that body couldn't regulate its temperature. It got a little too high. Body didn't like that, said we need to bring the temperature down. Well, we don't have any Tylenol. We don't have any Motrin. What's it going to do? It's going to shake. It's going to make all those muscles fire. And when we're firing muscles, what's it creating? Heat. Heat evaporates, goes off of our body. What's that do to the core temperature? Brings it down. Oh my God, is that brilliant? How freaking cool. How cool, right? Again, the body is always doing the right thing at the right time. It's going to change the way you think about everything when it comes to your kids. So again, if you're not having that trust yet, that's okay. Call me, call Dr. Sidney, email us on the weekends. We don't care. If you need to have a chat, we are here for you. Okay? Because I can tell you, the first time you don't take your child into the pediatrician when their ear hurts, you're going to freak out. And then you're going to get them adjusted. Their fever's going to go up. You're going to freak out. They're going to go home. They're going to wake up the next morning feeling great. And you're going to be like, that was awesome. I don't need a freaking doctor. I don't need a pediatrician. I don't need medication to get my baby healthy again. Yes?
And it's less expensive.
And it's less expensive, says the 12-year-old up front. I love it. All right. So what I did for this workshop, I have sections, and I try to organize them for you, some key takeaways when it comes to how we think about health. Some of this is going to be review. Some of it might be new. So just pay attention to these are key slides. Key takeaways. What we're doing isn't working. We need to do something different, which is what we're doing here. We have to think differently in order for that to happen. And we are designed to be healthy. Understand that. Your body wants you to be healthy. You are supposed to be healthy. Pay attention to that. Remind yourself of that. You need to live like that. Your body always wants you to be healthy. We just need to find out why isn't it? What's interfering with it? Whether it's lifestyle or medication, whatever it is, something's interfering with it. Remove the interference, your body will heal again. So let's talk about nutrition. Typical childhood diet. Have you guys seen the, you can go out to dinner at a nice restaurant and get the kids menu and it's still the same crap? Grilled cheese, hot dog, mac and cheese, chicken fingers and fries. Why are we giving our kids junk food that they call kids menu food when we really should be giving them the same thing that we're eating, healthy food? You have to understand what you're feeding your children is what they're going to become one day. They're going to get sick, just like we talked about the heart disease. These children, this is why they're getting plaquing in their arteries, because we're feeding them junk food and we're calling it kids menu. So, do you guys know what the number one packed lunch is for children?
Lunchables.
It actually is Lunchables. I've gone to the elementary school with my kids many times to have lunch with them, and I look around and I can't believe how many people are giving their children Lunchables. Now, why do we do that? Why do people give them Lunchables?
It's easy.
Because it's easy. It's easy and convenient. Just like it's easy and convenient to order off the kids menu, because do you think the kids want the salmon? No. They want what they want. So instead of giving them what they want, we really should be giving them what they need, but Lunchables. And I know some of you are probably using this or eat it for yourself, but when you actually dig in and see what are the ingredients, you would never want to give your children this stuff. These are the ingredients of that Lunchable that I just put up. First of all, look at how many ingredients there are. There's a lot of ingredients. Modified cellulose, artificial flavors, disodium acetate, sodium nitrate, artificial flavor, smoke flavor. These are things that cause cancer, but the amount of sugar and sodium in there leads to type 2 diabetes. When you're giving your children the convenient food, you're setting them for future failures. No wonder our children are so sick. No wonder 12% of children are obese. This is not a good thing. And people think, well, he's just, it's just baby weight, whatever it is. That's not true. When you are overweight and you are obese, that leads to heart disease. It leads to cancer. It leads to diabetes. The top 3 killers in the United States are linked to being overweight, and you're setting your children up for that future. Is that really what we want for our kids?
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. So we need to start making changes now. So what I always recommend people do is eat what we call the core plan with the Max Living lifestyle. You can find it on our website. You can find a workshop called Nutrition 101 on our YouTube channel that goes through what a core plan looks like versus what the advanced plan looks like. I say if we raise the bottom rung, we raise the bottom standard, the minimum standard of what we will tolerate, we can give our children better food and just say no to the stuff that's not good for them. You can make substitutions for the kids to still enjoy what they want.
Could you make a healthy Lunchable?
You absolutely can. We can call those bento boxes.
Okay.
So what we do for our kids, we'll get we get stainless steel bento box, and then we'll put in some organic grilled chicken or ground beef from tacos the night before, and then we'll do some type of vegetable, whether it's carrots or red peppers or broccoli or cucumbers, and then we'll do usually some nuts, pecans, almonds, something like that, and maybe a little bit of fruit, grapes, strawberries, blueberries. That is a fantastic, healthy meal. It is a Lunchable. It's super easy. It takes 1, maybe 2 minutes longer than packing a Lunchable, but what are you doing for your child?
You're improving it.
You're improving your child's health. We want our children to be healthy. That's why we're here tonight. We need to make sure that we're giving our children more of what they need, not just the things that they want. I'll have patients say, well, my son will only eat chicken fingers and chicken nuggets. They will only eat, macaroni and cheese. And I ask those parents, does your child have a job and make their own money? No. Do they have a way to get to the store? Do they have a car? No. Then how are they getting this food? Listen, I've told you this before. Parenting is not easy. But I can tell you it's a lot easier to say, honey, we don't have that, when you actually don't have it. Because they know when you're lying. They know they know where to find it. So if you don't actually buy the stuff, you say I don't have it, that's no longer an option. It's a lot easier to say that when it's actually true. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then sugar. Let's talk about sugar for a second. Where do you find sugar?
In everything.
Everything, including stuff like ketchup. All right, so your condiments, your sauces, pizzas. And I was trying to explain this to my child the other day about carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are sugar. They turn into sugar in your body. They do the exact same thing your body does when it reacts to white sugar that it does carbohydrates. In fact, he didn't believe me, so he decided to go. He said, I want bagels for breakfast. And I said, well, how much sugar's in there? He goes, it says 1 gram of sugar per serving. I said, okay, how many carbohydrates? It was 54 grams of carbohydrates in 1 bagel. And I said, well, that's 54 grams of sugar. No, it says carbohydrates. I said, okay, well, why don't you look it up and see what a carbohydrate is? And he says, well, what's the conversion rate from carbohydrate to sugar? It said 1 to 1. He didn't like that I was right. Yeah. So I said, that's 54 grams of sugar you just got in 1 bagel. How many grams of sugar are you supposed to eat in a day?
Less than that.
35 grams of sugar is a healthy number to stay under. And you just went over it in 1 bagel. No wonder our children are overweight. No wonder they're sick, and they're getting sicker and sicker and bigger and bigger. It is a problem. Sugar. So yes, we need to eliminate sugar, but eliminating sugar as a child in this world is, I don't want to say impossible because nothing's impossible, but it's very, very difficult to do. So what we need to do is make better changes, better choices when it comes to sugar. For example, people ask me, do your kids get to go trick-or-treating? I said, of course they do. But I had a rule with trick-or-treating. The rule was you get to keep 1 piece of candy per year of age you are. So if they were 5 years old, they got to have 5 pieces of candy. And I would really steer towards more of the chocolate stuff than I would the artificial sweetener, artificial dye stuff. But have you guys ever heard of the Switch Witch before? So this is something that somebody taught me years ago, and I like to pass it on to parents because I think it's a fantastic idea, because the Switch Witch is something my kids are actually more excited about than getting the candy. So the Switch Witch is a witch that comes on the night of Halloween, and what you do is you take all the candy that the kids got, you put it in bowls, and you put it out on your porch at night, and the Switch Witch will come and take the candy and leave presents instead. So my kids will get a book, they'll get new slippers, they'll get something that they wanted. It doesn't have to be, it's nothing expensive, it's something cheap, but it gives them something to look forward to other than candy.
Smart.
And it's brilliant. I thought, I don't know who came up with it, but thank you for coming up with that idea, and I'm passing it along to you guys to make sure that you start doing this too. And the Switch Fish may have passed over your house for the last 5 or 7 years, but hey, she's coming this year. How cool is that, right? But again, eating different foods, better idea. So what about processed foods? We need to start removing processed foods from our diet, because processed foods are the stuff that's in box, it's stuff that's man-made, it's bad for you, it's full of preservatives that are good for the companies that made it, but not good for you and your family's health. It's full of sodium, it's full of sugar, it's full of junk, MSG, stuff that you just don't want. So stop buying stuff that's in boxes and start buying stuff that goes bad, so that's how you know there's no preservatives in it. So tomorrow, Tuesday morning, that's when I do my shopping. So tonight, between half tonight, maybe half tomorrow morning, my wife and I will sit down and we'll make a list of lunch and dinner for the next 7 days, all the way till next Monday. And we write down what we want. Now my kids are a little older. I want them to give me one lunch and one dinner. That takes a little bit of pressure off of me, what things that they're going to eat. And then I go shopping for the whole week on Tuesday morning. It's all done. So I could say, hey, honey, what are we having for Saturday dinner? She could look at the fridge and tell me what we're having. Now, can things bend and flex? Yeah, of course they can. But I already have all the things I need to make those 7 meals for dinner and 7 meals for lunch. That's planning. And guess what? Sometimes we plan to go out. Sedentary lifestyle. This is actually one of the most significant contributing factors to poor health. I don't know if you guys know this, but we are genetically designed to move. And if we are not moving on a regular basis, that is a major problem. When we move, we get oxygen to our cells, our blood takes nutrients to our cells. We need proper movement. Are kids doing this?
No.
It's estimated that 25% of our population is sedentary. That's a quarter of us. That sedentary means you wake up, you get in a car, you go to a desk, come back in a car, sit on a couch, go to bed, and do it again. Unfortunately, that sounds probably pretty familiar to some of us. In that case, you need to make sure that you're doing things on purpose to move. Like going for walks after dinner, doing the Max T3 workouts, whatever it is, you need to move more. Because what happens if we don't? So, diabetes. Somebody said that. People that live a sedentary lifestyle, there's 45% more cancer in men and 28% more cancer in women. So you just increased your chance by 2 for a man if you're sedentary. Respiratory ailments increase 92% for men and 75% in women. Heart disease is 52% higher in men and 28% in women for those that live a sedentary lifestyle. So the chances of you dying of a heart disease goes up if you're not exercising and moving on a regular basis. Well, that's not good. So when does that habit start? As children. It's pretty upsetting when you used to drive through a neighborhood, you'd see, you know where the kids were because all the bikes are in the front yard. You see kids outside, playing hockey or playing baseball, you have to move them out of the way to get past. Now you drive through a neighborhood, it's like nobody lives there because everybody's inside their house, the doors are shut. There's no social interaction. It's bad. I mean, when you look at just children, 22% of kids, less than that, are getting the moderate to vigorous exercise of 1 hour, 5 days a week. 1 hour, 5 days a week, you should be out there running, getting out of breath.
What was the Max Living stat that our kids nowadays get less time outside than prisoners in jail or something like that?
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's awful. 27% of high schoolers are physically active for 1 hour every day, and less than 52% of high schoolers attended a physical education class in 2015. They're taking it out of the schools. Yeah. They're taking recess out of the schools. They're taking physical education out of the schools. It's like these people, they need to move. Children, they learn better. It's better for their brain. I mean, exercise and depression. Researchers found that walking for 30 minutes improved patients' symptoms faster than an antidepressant drug. Get out and move. But why do that when I can just pop a pill? Because my doctor knows everything. It can also make you smarter, which is why it doesn't make any sense that we're taking it out of schools.
My daughter's in kindergarten, and she has 20 minutes to a restroom break, a snack, and recess.
That's it.
20
Once
minutes for all 3 of those things.
Wait, what?
she has,
And
as
30 minutes for
kindergarten.
lunch. Yeah,
a kindergartner,
Yeah.
she gets 20 minutes to go to the bathroom, get a drink, and use the bathroom.
eat a snack.
And
Oh, eat a snack and have
And
recess.
recess.
That's 20 minutes total. Who's running this show? It's not me.
I drop her off at 7 and pick her up at 2:30.
7.5 hour day, she gets 20 minutes of break.
She does have PE 3 times a week.
Okay, and what's that, 20 minutes also?
I don't know.
With a pee break?
Probably 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But they're
But
also,
that's-
they don't bring their water to PE.
That's awful. It is awful.
I had to literally go talk to the teacher because she was drinking a total of like 3 or 4 ounces in that 7.5 hours. And I had to go talk to her and I was like, you can't, she has to drink more water.
I struggle with that with my youngest too, yeah.
They
That
all
is
need
so-
to. I don't understand.
My
who's in
next
charge of
step was
this.
Dr. Moss writing me a note.
Yeah, oh, I'll write you a note and I'll hand deliver that.
Yeah. I'm a little bit of a Nazi about drinking water, and so when my children are obsessive about snacks, I say, you drink a whole cup of water
Oh,
before
that's a
I'll
good
give you
one.
the snack.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, because water is better than the snack would
Because
be.
likely, they're thirsty, they're not hungry.
Correct.
And so I make them, we'll have like a chug contest of water, I'll do it with them, and we'll just like chug water and make it more exciting. And then I go, okay, 5 minutes, then tell me if you want that snack.
Yeah.
That's my key.
You actually set the timer, Kim, or you just like let them forget about it?
Well, 5 minutes is mom talk, so it's just
No,
like whenever.
it's whenever they ask
Whenever I
for it.
remember.
After the 8th time they come back.
Yeah.
And the other thing is I'm obsessive about everybody having a water bottle everywhere I go. Even if they don't drink out of it, they know that you need to have water everywhere you go.
It's, again, you're creating good habits in the young age that's gonna develop as they get older. You gotta keep doing that. Let's talk about screen time. Oh, but can you grab my book? I don't know how I forgot that. This is my favorite topic in my household, screen time. But I have some things I want to talk to you guys about this. Did you guys know the average child clocks in more than 7 hours of screen time a day? And understand, screen time is not just phone or iPad. It's also TV, computer. Now sometimes they're doing work.
Schools use it a lot. I was gonna say the schools are, do you want to say how much?
So there's a book that we've been reading, The Anxious Generation. If you want some eye-opening facts about screens and the damage it does to children, I highly recommend reading this. Research, I'm just giving you some quotes from this. Research shows that 92.2% of 1-year-olds have used a mobile device. But did you also know that using a screen before 18 months can negatively affect reading, memory, sleep, attention, and language development?
Wow.
Probably didn't know, for sure. But listen, again, what are we talking about? Why are parents giving children iPads and phones at a young age? Convenience. Yes, and I'm going to tell you, as a parent, parenting is the toughest job you'll ever have. It's 24/7, and it takes work. All right? Parenting is not easy, but I will tell you just from my experience, I have a 17, a 15, and a 13-year-old. If you put your foot down, things will get better. If you are non-wavering, they need that. Okay? You set rules, there should be no discussion. If the answer is no, there's no, let me see how I can get around that. Even if you're wrong, the answer should still be no, because I said so that they understand that there are boundaries and rules to follow. I know, it's getting bad. It's getting more and more screens, more and more in your face. Now, some of the screen time I get is necessary, but some of it is absolutely not. It's a digital drug. Raise your hand as an adult if you feel the need to check your phone. You feel a pull. Come on. We all do. If you're not putting your hand up, you're lying. Because
I don't feel the need. I just do it.
you just do it. You just like,
But
oh,
I
feel
don't
it.
feel like I'm doing it that much.
It's in my hand. Yeah, until you check your screen time. It's like, I picked it up 45 times today.
2 hours a day.
2 hours a day. That's not bad.
Two things. One, you're giving my mom ideas.
Awesome.
And two, I feel like I pay attention more if it's on paper, but like when it's on the screen, I feel like I just can't focus on that.
I'm not surprised. Because it's not real. It's just light flickering in your face. Which is why children love it. They're attracted to light. Whew. You watch a baby look at a phone, they're like, whoo, stuck on it. but it is negative. Have you guys gotten to read this yet? This is a PhD. Tablets are the ultimate shortcut tools. Unlike a mother reading a story to a child, a smartphone told story spoon-feeds images, words, and pictures all at once to a young reader. Rather than having to take the time to process a mother's voice into words, visualize complete pictures, and exert the mental effort to follow a storyline, kids who follow stories on their smartphones get lazy. The device does the thinking for them, and as a result, their own cognitive muscles remain weak. We're seeing a trend here. Everything that's convenient is not good for our children. It's going to take effort to keep that from them. It's going to take effort to soothe a child instead of here. This is so much easier. It shuts them up real quick. Is it good for them? Absolutely not. So going back to this book, The Anxious Generation, like I said, I've read a bit of it now. I highly recommend it if you're worried about your children and worried about it. It's solid information because our children are becoming screen damaged. What does that mean? Brain imaging is showing that they are losing their executive functioning, reasoning, impulse control, exactly the same way cocaine does. You don't want your kids doing that, so why would we let them do this? It's just the same thing, it's just different. Technology is so hyper-arousing that it raises dopamine levels. That's the feel-good neurotransmitter most involved with the addiction dynamic as much as sex. And these children are impulsive, they're moody, and they cannot pay attention because of their screens. What does this mean? What do we need to do?
Take them away.
Take them away and run over them.
Sorry.
I'm down.
Right?
Go back to the good old flip phone. Fine with that too.
Which one?
Yeah, right. The one that
Talking
doesn't
about the
exist.
bricks?
The bricks.
Pull out a
They'll be
ten.
the super cool kid in school. Kim?
That makes perfect sense, but logistically, it's very hard.
Yeah.
So, two things that I did, because I've not gotten rid of screens or anything, but I started limiting what they could watch, really narrow, because then they desire to watch it a lot less.
Yep.
And then two, I did Tony's, which tells stories. Does anybody know about Tony's?
The little box
It's
with
the
the
little
characters.
box that just tells stories. They love that. Take them everywhere. It's not connected to Wi-Fi, and it just tells them stories to
Huh.
music.
Yeah, you
And
buy
then
little
control
characters.
it. You buy little characters, so Tony's. And then the third thing is they love to hear you tell them a story. Don't read a book. They're not as excited about you reading a book, but if
Yeah.
you say, let me tell you a story, what kid doesn't light up about making out, just like make up a story, like whatever it is. They
Yeah.
love to hear that.
Yeah, that's
Those
good
are my
stuff. And that's-
Logical things to do.
And those are great for neurodevelopment, keeping them creative, keeping them focused. Again, when we watch TV, it's mindless entertainment. It's just feeding you light and junk. You need to use your brain.
To make them watch National Geographic.
Well, that's what I love. I love learning on TV. If I'm gonna watch TV, I want to like how the universe works.
That's
History
what
channel.
I'm
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. I want stuff that I'm gonna learn and get something from. Not every once in a while, mindless entertainment is fine, right? I like to be entertained. What's that?
The Magnolia Channel.
I don't know that channel.
Chip and Joanna?
Oh.
It's the new HGTV.
Yeah, it's the new HGTV.
Okay.
But it's so
Starting
sweet.
young with building.
So we're talking about this with younger children. What about a little bit older children? What's the big problem they have? They're living in a world of comparison. What are they comparing them to? Everybody else. Where do they find that? Social media. One thing you need to know about social media is when you're looking at other people's pictures and videos, you're comparing your daily grind, your daily life, which is usually not fantastic always, to somebody's highlight reel. Oh, why are they on vacation? How come I didn't get to go on vacation? Oh, they got a new car, I didn't get a new car. Oh, they got straight A's, I didn't get straight A's. Oh, they made a team, I didn't make a team. What are you constantly doing? You're comparing. And when you compare yourself to other people, what does it always do? Causes you to feel bad about yourself. That's what a lot of this book is. I'm going to read some things that I wrote down that I thought were very, very interesting. So, do you guys know what year the iPhone came out?
2006.
2008. 2008. Any questions? Were you really? Okay, then Dom, answer this one. What year did the first forward-facing camera on the phone come out?
24?
Nope. That was this year. 2010. And 2010 is when bad stuff started happening, especially with social media, because they had the selfies. So these statistics all start in 2010. Since 2010, depression in kids, teenagers, in girls increased 145% in the last 14 years. In boys, 161%. Anxiety in 18 to 25-year-olds have increased 131%. In 26 to 34-year-olds, 103%. It's doubled for adults. 35 to 48, it's gone up 52% in the last 14 years. Suicide rates in boys have increased 91%. And in girls, 167%. That's disturbing. This is why I tell my children, get off the phone. Unless you're talking to me, you don't need it. Right? Who are you really talking? I mean, yeah, I get it. Listen, I tell my kids this all the time. I'm a first-time parent. I've never done it before. I'm doing the best I can. And this whole new world of navigating this, guess who we can't ask for help? Our parents. They have no idea what the hell we're dealing with.
Or any other parent.
Or any other parent, because they don't know what the hell they're dealing with either. Nobody knows what the hell we're doing. We don't. We can only do the best we can, which is why we ask our children, limit. Put some reins on it. My kids didn't get phone until you were 14. He's 15, and my daughter, who's 14, 8th grade, still does not have a phone. And I'm happy about that, but I'm afraid to give it because yeah, she should get a flip phone.
Give her a Nokia.
The Nokia, perfect.
Yeah,
The little brick.
yeah,
Yes. Yes.
Like you can get on the cover.
Because what do they really need the phone for?
Like
Communication. The problem is kids communicate in a digital way that we don't know about. We don't understand. It's just not who we are. They have a whole life on that phone. They have a whole new persona on that phone that we know nothing about. It's not good, but it's as good. We just got to do what we can to keep our children safe, because these statistics are not made up. It is disgusting and awful. And one of the things it said here was being on screens will decrease the interest in all non-screen based forms of experience. And I see that with my children. They get on a computer and all of a sudden they don't want to do anything else. It's a great day. Let's go golfing. Now I'm good. Let's go ride a bike. Now I'm good. This is why you don't see children running around in the neighborhoods anymore, because they're on their screen. They have no interest in leaving that. Why would they want to when they're getting fed dopamine? This feels great. That's what they're doing. It's a drug. When you treat it like a drug and understand that isn't an addiction, please treat it seriously. It's sad and scary, but this is not what this whole thing's about. But I want people to be aware of this, okay? So here are your takeaways for that point. 60 minutes of physical activity 5 days a week. Limit screen time to 2 hours or less, depending on their age. Sometimes you can give them a little bit more or less. Hey, dangle like a carrot. Now, if you do this, this, and this, you can have an extra hour. Oh, might get some stuff done around the house. Limit social media access and be social and interact IRL. You guys know what IRL stands for?
In real life.
See, I just wanted to look cool for a second. It means in real life. I know that because of my children. Yes. But interact in real life. Getting out and being with kids. You will learn so much. Because you know what? Bullying doesn't happen in real life anymore. It only happens over the phone because nobody can get punched through the phone. Say that to my face. I dare you. You won't, because there's no separation. Everybody's big until they get in their face. All right. Let's talk about the power of the natural immune system. We've kind of talked about this a little bit already. Your body was born with everything it needs to be healthy and fight disease. It just needs no what? Interference. It needs no interference. That's all it needs. It needs no interference. The body always is doing the right thing at the right time. Let it do its thing. Does that mean then we need vaccinations? No, we do not need vaccinations. And just so quick little note about this. I'm not going to tell you to vaccinate or not vaccinate your child. I'm not going to judge you if you vaccinate or don't vaccinate your child. I want you to do your own research when it comes to these important decisions. Nothing is worse than having a patient come in and there's a Band-Aid on the baby's leg. I said, what is that? Well, they got their shots. I said, okay. Did you do any research? No. Well, why did you get them? Well, the doctor said I had to, otherwise my kid couldn't go to school. I wanted to go punch that doctor in the face. That's a lie. A 100% lie. That's called a scare tactic, and you should go back and punch that doctor, because that is a lie. You can get into school with no vaccinations. So again, do it because you think it's the best thing for your child. Do not do it or not do it because I said so or anybody else said so. Do it because you think in your gut this is the right thing to do. I will support you all the way for it, whatever you decide. But not doing it because I said not to do it, I don't want you doing that. Do it because they told you to, don't want you doing that. Does that make sense? And if you have questions about this, like because you don't know and you don't know how to not do it and you want to know more, ask me. I will be a resource for you. I will help guide you to places that can give you unbiased information so you can make the right decision for you. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about why I think these are not the most fantastic idea. Do you guys know what's in these?
Chemical.
Correct.
So
Metals.
stuff it's supposed to be a vaccine for.
Not in, yeah, right? The
disease.
weakened virus? Yeah. That's like the one little thing that's in it, and the rest of it's So I have these. If you want one, ask Wendy. Can we print them out? They're up front. You can get one of these. This goes through the typical ingredients of a typical vaccine. So I'm going to tell you what their thought pattern is. The thought is if I give you a weakened injection of measles, and it's a weakened virus, your body can recognize it, destroy it, create antibodies against it, so if it ever sees it again, it's ready to go. That makes sense. But do you think measles viruses go through your skin? No. How do you get the measles virus? How do you get any virus? Which way? How's it get in? Nose, mouth, right? That's it. And I can tell you when you go through your nose in your mouth versus in your interstitial fluid or even in your blood, you're going a completely different ballgame. Different types of immunity happens, cell mediated. I mean, it's just, if you look into it, it's very, very different, which is why the shot, one of the reasons why the shot is not very effective, which is why you need to get a what?
Booster.
A booster. Yeah, get another booster. That's why, because it's not lifelong. That's why you need boosters. When's the last time any of you had boosters for measles? Guess what? You're not immune to measles then. Oh no. Your smile just went away. You're like, oh crap. But if you believe your body can fight it, then who gives a crap, right? That's right. So that's one reason. Now, why is all this other crap in here? A lot of it's preservatives, so it doesn't go bad, and that's good for who?
The doctors.
The doctors and the pharmaceutical companies making it, right? Yeah, that's good for them, so they don't lose all their profit, right? But why are they putting all these heavy metals in there? Do you guys know that? Because if they don't put the heavy metals in there, your body doesn't react enough to it. So it needs to put some bad things in there so your body's like, whoa, what the hell is this? Let me get there and start creating a reaction. Because if those things aren't there, nothing really happens.
Because it's so weakened.
It's so weakened,
Virus is
yeah,
so
that it's
weakened.
like, meh.
And they're not going to give you more dose because then they would give you
Too much of
actual
the stuff.
virus. And
Correct.
then they'd have to treat
Isn't that weird? Isn't that bad? And what is all these heavy metals doing to your body and your child? Staying there forever. Aluminum, mercury, it's all in there. You have a question?
Don't they just like put stuff in there that will help for now, but then they'll cause problems later?
That's right. Yep, this is all the stuff that causes problems later. Or right away. Yes, Becca?
Isn't that what they say not to have, like when they're saying no to drugs, no to vapes, stuff like
Yeah,
that?
they're saying that all those things are bad, but if I inject it by your doctor, it's good. No. Just like when I've gone to the elementary schools, there's a huge sign, I'm talking about this big, it says no, just say no to drugs. But then you walk in that school and just about every child is on a medication. I I call BS on that sign.
They're prescribed drugs.
But that means they're fine if they're prescribed, right? So, again, we said more than half of your vaccines are administered before age 15 months. And this is crazy. The recommended childhood vaccine schedule has tripled since liability was removed. Did you guys know that your company, the pharmaceutical company that creates these vaccines, has absolutely no liability? Meaning that doctor can inject that baby with the Hep B and it die. And guess what? We didn't do anything wrong. You have no recourse against the doctor or the pharmaceutical company. Is anybody else a little like churning inside by that? It's disgusting. And as soon as that was removed, tripled. Let me go back. I have a stat I wanted to find. I can't find it. Oh, I must have deleted it. It was the amount of money these pharmaceutical companies make. It used to be like 300 million a year. Now it's like 400 billion. It's stupid. It is ridiculous. Correlation versus causation. After the increase in vaccinations, chronic diseases have more than quadrupled in children. Huh. But that has nothing to do with the vaccine, right?
No.
It can't. Did you know that there's never been a double-blind placebo study done on vaccinations, which is the gold standard for any medication? What they've done in the past is they've done one just like this, full of all this stuff, with the weakened virus. What was the control group? It should be water. Nope, they did this without the virus. Well, if all the people have reactions to it, that's normal because the control had a reaction to it. That's fraud. That's BS. That's ridiculous. And that's the crap we've been fed. Listen, I was vaccinated. My children are not. And I can tell you, when you see children that are not vaccinated versus children who are vaccinated, I see a difference. I have a trained eye, but they have more life in their body. How are they getting us? Yes?
Question. I never used it, but is it the same thing as an inhaler?
No. No, an inhaler is not. It's different. Thank goodness. How did they get us all to do this? They scare you. I mean, look at it. In 1958, James has the measles, so I invited he and his mother over for lunch. Hopefully you can catch it and get lifelong immunity. But in 2024, I know he's your best friend, but he isn't vaccinated, and playing with him could kill us.
You're at a chickenpox party.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a video and I could not find it from a workshop I did years ago. The Brady Bunch getting the measles.
I saw that.
Yep, you probably saw it here. I was like, yeah, he's like, oh, getting the measles is the best. Nobody cared because there was no vaccine. As soon as they came up with a vaccine for measles, it killed people. It killed kids. It's like, come on now. Yeah.
Well, that's what, there's a commercial, I can't remember, it's the one that the school tried to give her.
Gardasil.
Was that the teenage one or?
Yeah, that's a teenage one for cervical cancer. It's killing girls.
And it's in the commercial, if you actually watch the commercial on it, that's what I was scared about, that's why I asked you,
Mhm.
because it was saying, it was actually all these teenagers, my mom loved me, so she gave me the vaccination.
Disgusting.
And then the other kids were like, my mom didn't love me, and so now I have cancer, and it's just like, oh my, and that's the commercial that we are fed.
That's the HPV one. Guys, you need to see through the BS.
Yeah.
That was optional though.
Oh, it's
That's
optional.
optional. They ask you if your girls want it.
Well, it's
But
optional,
it's made
but guess what
girls better.
guess what they're doing now? They're allowing children 12 and up to make their own decisions without their parents.
Yeah.
Ooh, guys, we need a punching bag here so we can start let off some steam. It's
That's in California, right?
yes, guys, understand. It's getting worse and worse and worse.
Okay.
We have to protect our children, and we need to teach our children. Guys, would you ever get a shot?
Never.
Never. Now, if they don't do their homework, I said, "You want a shot?" They're like, "No, I don't want a shot." But you think that your doctor has your best interest in mind, and I would hope that they would. However, I unfortunately know for a fact that money is involved.
Yeah.
So when COVID came around and they invented, miraculously, the vaccine for it, well, I have a letter that was sent to a medical doctor telling him, okay, you guys, I know this is small, so I'm going to read the most important parts for you. It's a provider incentive program for the COVID-19 vaccination, meaning if you vaccinate our Blue Cross and Blue Shield members, you're going to get a kickback. So it says there's 2 time periods. First period is now, which was sometime in 2021 to September 1st of 2021. If 30% of our Anthem members are vaccinated, you're going to get a $20 bonus per member. All the way up to, if 75% of our members are vaccinated in your office, you can get a $125 bonus per member. That's a big check. Well, the final incentive is going to be calculated between September 1st, 2021 and December 31st, 2021, where the bonuses go up to $100, all the way up to $250 per patient. And I was like, well, first of all, disgusting, right? Are we doing this for the people, or are we doing this for the money? It's a money thing. But I said, why September 1st? Like, what happened there? So I looked up September 1st, 2021, COVID. 2 things happened. The booster came out. So now we need to get boosted. We need you boosted. And Mr. Biden, he decided to mandate vaccinations for all federal employees and any employee of a large corporation.
Military.
Military is one of them. Forcing it on them.
Yes, it
And-
was forced on us.
Yep, forced on you. But what are the results now of all the people that have had the vaccination? Autoimmune diseases, cardiomegaly, all kinds of heart issues,
Getting COVID again.
getting COVID multiple times.
Right, yeah.
Everybody I know that's had the shot has had COVID multiple times. And they've been so indoctrinated into, well, it's because you didn't get it. Remember with that one?
Oh, yeah.
My shot only works if you get the shot too.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Oh my God.
That was what they were telling everybody. And listen, no judgment if you got it. None. Some of us were scared, we didn't know what to do. Some people did. I would just tell you, please don't do it again. Okay?
There is a reason I work for SSA, and there isn't even talk about a vaccine or talk about getting a vaccine again, nothing. They don't mention it.
Good, because I think we've all seen behind the curtain a little bit to go, what the hell are we thinking? I really hope most of us are like that now. And when they come around with the monkeypox vaccine, we're gonna be like, I'm not gonna do it, I'm on camera. I'm gonna give him the finger. That's what I really want to do. See you. Yes.
Well, that's what my doctor, because I had COVID really bad and I ended up with the 3 TVs. So they were like, well, if you had gotten a COVID shot, you wouldn't have had these issues. And then so afterwards, after months later, I went back and they're like, okay, now you're obviously convinced to get the COVID shot. And I'm like, no, because I've heard that it actually causes blood clots. So you want me to take the COVID shot for the blood clots, even though it causes blood clots. And they're like, and I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
I'll pass.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
good.
waiting for that $250 bonus.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's why they're pushing that on you.
Exactly.
It's bad. Just so you guys know, don't test anymore. It becomes a cold if you don't test
yeah.
for it, just so you all know. Okay. So here are the key takeaways. Please educate yourself to make informed decisions. NVIC.org, that is a fantastic resource for vaccine safety. Trust your body and trust your gut. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. All right. I'm going to go a little bit faster here because I know we got a little bit more information, but it's getting late. I could talk for more hours. I've already gone for an hour and a half or so. So let's go through household products. Don't use them. Cool. Next. Just understand, we love to have a clean house, but if your house smells clean, those are toxins. My kids used to be, I think it was Keller that would do it, my 15-year-old. He would walk down the aisle over there where you see all the laundry detergent. He goes, it smells like cancer in here. I trained him too well. But I can't even walk down that aisle because it gives me a headache because I'm so sensitive to that stuff now that I can't do it. So again, I'm gonna go through a couple of that stuff here in a second. Toys and plastics, what are your kids putting in their mouth? Everything. Let's go back to wooden blocks. Okay, plastic not good. Put dirt in their mouth. That's good for them, right? That's better than plastic junk. If you're going to heat up or store anything in plastic materials, make sure the food is either cold already. Please do not heat anything up in plastic. Okay, especially microwaving. You shouldn't microwave anyway, but that's a whole other topic. So the key takeaways here, this is some stuff I kind of condensed that I didn't talk about yet. Pajamas for kids. Most of them are flame resistant material, sprayed with chemicals so your child doesn't go up in flames while they sleep. I don't understand why that is a thing. So, and unfortunately, it's always the cool, fuzzy, warm-looking, cute ones. Yeah, you need to get the cotton ones that tight fit.
Burt's Bees.
Burt's Bees, they make them. Yep, there you go. It's going to say, it's going to be a big yellow tag that says, this is not flame retardant. Be careful with your child. Like, I don't understand the whole thing. So just make sure, because again, your children are sleeping this stuff, they're breathing these chemicals all day. No wonder we're having developmental disorders. Toothpaste, fluoride free, SLS free. You guys know what SLS is? Sodium lauryl sulfate. It's in just about any cleanser in your house. Shampoo, soaps, toothpaste. Anything that gets sudsy, sodium lauryl sulfate, it will cause pancreatic and thyroid cancer. So please remove that from everything. Mallory, I know it's daunting. It's everything. I will help you. I will help
Do you
you.
recommend a toothpaste?
Yes.
I was gonna ask, is Tom's good?
No.
Oh,
No.
okay.
So Tom's used to be good until somebody else bought them and kept the name and changed the ingredients.
Yep.
You ever watch Tommy Boy? Oh, that's a good movie. Same thing happened with their brake pads.
Oh, like,
Yeah, but we just want your name. I'm putting my crappy pads in your box. I just want your name so people think they're still getting a quality product when they're not. Happens all the time. So I use Hello Brand,
okay.
Kiss My Face. There's a couple other off-beaten ones at Whole Foods. So the things I'm looking for in my toothpaste, no fluoride, no SLS, and no carrageenan. And just so you know, my children have never used fluoride and they have no cavities. And they don't even brush their teeth. Look for deodorant without any propylene glycol or parabens. So there's a bunch of brands out there that are good. I use, oh geez, what's it called, Jordy?
Each and every.
Each and Every. A little bit pricey, but it smells fantastic and actually works. Some of the natural stuff you put on and makes you stinkier somehow quickly. And this one actually works. Pit Paste is another good one. Schmidt's is a good one, but I think they have one or two that have perfume in it, like parfum, like fragrance.
You still have to check.
So you still have to check the ingredients on that one.
Yeah. Some native are good, some native are
And
bad.
Native, yep.
Yeah,
That's another decent
so-
brand. And then wash your clothes with detergent without SLS, without fragrance, and 1,4-dioxane. So what we use is Molly Suds. That one works really well. Ecos is a good brand. I try to get the fragrance-free version of it. 7th generation, hit or miss. You gotta read the ingredients. What's another? Is there another one? The Thieves from.
Attitude.
What is it?
Attitude.
I don't know that one.
It's on Amazon. They have good everything.
Okay, Attitude
Ranch Basics.
on Amazon. What's it called?
Ranch Basics.
Branch Basics.
Yeah.
Okay, that's another one Dr. Sidney recommends. That's clean. So there are ones out there. You just have to figure out which ones work best for you and your family and price and all that stuff. But getting that out of here is good. Okay.
Go to Skin Deep.
Oh yeah, you can go to the Skin Deep website if you haven't been before, ewg.org. That's where you can really find the best things that pass the test. ewg.org.
We have there's a QR code right there for it.
Oh,
That'll take
how
you right
nice.
to Skin Deep.
I probably should have.
Yeah.
I probably should have.
Yeah.
Should have
And
put
we
that
have,
up
we
there.
have little takeaways up on the.
Yeah, I
table.
swore twice by accident. Great. Mallory heard me. Okay. All right, let's talk about spinal development. Do you guys know when the sperm and egg come together, what is the first thing that's created?
Spine.
It is the brain and nervous system, which is inside your spine now. Yes. It is your brain and nervous system. It looks like a tree with a trunk with branches coming out. At the end of the branches are little fruit. You know what those fruit are? Your organs. How cool is it that your central nervous system is the first thing to be created? It is that power that was put inside of you by God is still inside of you. It is still in your brain. It is still in your spinal cord. It's still running and controlling every single function in our body. So as we sit here, our hearts are beating, our lungs are breathing, our blood is flowing. It's all happening because of that nervous system. Without that nervous system, could we be alive? No. What if we ate really well and exercised every day? It doesn't matter because there's the nervous system. We need to make sure that there's no interference. When there's no interference between the brain and the body's in a state of ease. How does that feel? Well, it feels easy. Things are happening the way they're supposed to. That's how we stay healthy. What if a bone shifts out of alignment? What's that called? Please tell me. You guys are great. If you didn't, I'd have a major problem. Subluxations. Subluxations are why you are here. You are here to remove subluxations, remove the interference from the nervous system, restoring your body back to a state of ease from a state of dis-ease. And when you're in a state of ease, you heal. When you're in a state of dis-ease, you lose your health. Where do we want to be? We want to be in a state of ease. Who do we want to be there with us? Everybody. Everybody should be in a state of ease. Everybody could be in a state of ease if they learn what you learned here tonight. That is my one and only job. Yeah, I like educating you guys on all the other stuff, but if there's pressure on the nerve, none of that other stuff matters. We gotta restore proper tone. You guys ever notice that when your kid skins their leg, they heal it in like 2 days, and for us it's like 4 weeks later we're still there? Yeah, not fair, not cool. But you know what? Awesome. Our kids respond so well. So when you're starting your children out young, they don't need as much care. They don't need to go through big corrective care because we've ignored our body for the last 20 years. It's just, hey, you're born? Awesome. Maintain. Let's just maintain. Let's maintain what God gave you right there. And chiropractic for kids, yes, we know it can help back pain and neck pain and headaches, but the amount of people I've seen in here with their kids, ear infections, gone. Fevers, got better. Constipation, that's a big one, gone. We can keep going because it's not about back pain, neck pain, and headaches. It's about restoring proper tone, restoring ease to the body so the body can function and do what it needs to do. This is why we recommend getting adjusted at birth. I don't know who, I can't remember who this is. I think this right here is it Phoenix?
Yeah.
I think that's Phoenix. That was one of our CA's babies that was born. That was right, I think it was the day before they shut down the world. So I didn't have to have a mask on yet. I'm not sure I don't know who that is. I don't know if that's one of yours. No. That's how many babies we get to adjust in the hospital. I'm not sure who that is. But it's a happy baby. It's a healthy baby now because we've removed interference. My 3 children have been checked since they were about 19 minutes old. Why would I do that? So I want my children in a state of ease from the day that they're born so they can heal and function the way they should. How many times have we been to the medical doctor? Never. Unless it's a what? Emergency. We've had a broken leg, a broken nose, and some stitches. But I can tell you, when I go to those places, they don't like me. I took my daughter to Scottish Rite because she broke her arm. I took an x-ray. I'm like, crap, it's broken. We got to go. It's a Saturday afternoon. We get down there, and we wait, and they put this bandage on with this numbing agent. I'm like, what's that for? Oh, that's for when we give her a shot, so it'll feel better. I'm like, shot of what? Oh, we'll see. I'm like, we'll see. No, it's not happening. But I don't want that. But you need it. We're not getting a shot. I don't care what it is. I can keep going with that story. That story is funny because the doctor comes in and goes, yeah, you're right. Good job, doctor. You found the break. But she needs surgery. I'm like, what? Oh, yeah, it's a really bad break. It's both bones. I'm like, I don't think you have the right person. No? Brindley Moss? Yep, do. I'm like, show me the x-ray. He shows me the x-ray. Wrong patient.
Oh.
They were about to knock my child out for surgery. Wrong patient.
Oh.
It's like, you know what? Put a cast on. You're fired. I'm out.
Yeah.
Whew.
Oh, yeah.
Again, where's my punching bag?
Imagine if you didn't know.
If I didn't know, my child would have been knocked out for no reason to get to a surgery that was unnecessary.
Yeah, that's.
Again,
And they still would have done that.
they probably still would have done it and probably still would have sent me a bill. Yeah. Again, if it doesn't feel right, you got to say something.
Yeah.
You're the advocate for your child. If the schools aren't doing what they should be doing, you say something. We had to take my oldest son out of Creekland Middle School because when we got there at 5th grade or 6th grade, they said he needs to have a Twitter account and an Instagram account. I said, why? Well, that's where they're going to be able to follow their teachers and get some of their assignments. I'm like, you have to be 15 or something like that to even get an account. Well, you can use a parent's account. I said, no, this doesn't sound right at all. We emailed the superintendent, and they said, well, we're trying this time. I'm like, well, we're removing our child from school. So we took him out because I'm like, this is BS. Yeah. So supplements. What supplements should kids be taking? Well, they don't need much. right? They heal really quickly. If they're eating really well, they don't need much. So the things I do recommend, a multivitamin, because could we always get better nutrients? Yes. Probiotics. Probiotics are good for their gut. Gut is important for their immune system, so that's a good thing to have. And then D3. That helps boost the immune system. And I just realized I forgot a whole big section I wanted to chat with you about. Can we go back like 12 slides for 2 seconds? Maybe 2 minutes? We're going to go back to talk about ear infections for a second. What's the doctor's first answer for an ear infection? Antibiotics. Are antibiotics good for you?
No.
Then why is it okay just to take them anytime you have a little bit of redness around your ear? It's not. But I'm going to tell you that right now. We are all desensitized to it. We think it's no big deal. Because I grew up going to the doctor all the time. I had the pink stuff in my door at all times because that's what I was told to do. And I had an ear infection, ear infection. Just take some of that, you're good. Right? Little did we know how bad that actually is for you and your future. This is what I want to teach you guys. Okay, this is the stuff that you can find on your own, but I want to read this to you. This is Journal of Infection. Antibiotics are amongst the most commonly used drugs in children. We know this. Antibiotic exposure has been associated with adverse long-term health outcomes. Oh, didn't know that, did we? We identified 160 observational studies investigating 21 outcomes. They studied 22,103,129 children. That's a pretty big study. Antibiotic exposure was associated with an increased risk of atopic dermatitis, allergic symptoms, food allergies, allergic rhinoconjunctivitis, that's a constant runny nose, wheezing, asthma, increased weight gain or being overweight, obesity, juvenile idiopathic arthritis, psoriasis, autism spectrum disorders, and neurodevelopment disorders. And an antibiotic is doing that to your child. Ooh. I don't think we want to give that to our children anymore, do we?
I thought that's what it was prevent.
Huh. Again, my smart one here. I'm just going to give you a couple more of these. This was the objective of this study was to investigate the extent to which antibiotic exposure in the first 2 years of life is associated with risk of immunological, metabolic, and neurobehavioral health conditions. And this is from the Mayo Clinic. The study included 14,572 children. 70% of these children received at least one antibiotic prescription during their first 2 years of life. And the exposure was associated with increased risk of childhood onset asthma, allergic rhinitis, atopic dermatitis, celiac disease, overweight, obesity, and ADHD. How many, I don't even have to raise your hand. We've all tried to go to the doctor because our baby doesn't feel good. And what's their answer for everything? Antibiotics, because it's not that big a deal, because we all taken it. In the first 2 years of your child's life, limit it to excruciating emergencies. Okay, if you've already done it, no going back. We're just not going to do it again. Okay. Consumption of antibiotics may fundamentally change the microbiome and thereby create a pre-cancerous environment promoting cancer development and growth. Great. I'm going to read it. It's depressing, it's devastating, and this is why we should not run to the doctor for an antibiotic. Because I'm going to tell you, lots of moms go out there demanding the antibiotic. You know what the doctor's supposed to do for this? Wait and see. That's what your doctor's supposed to do. But if you want the drug and he says wait and see, you're going to write him a negative review and you're going to go somewhere else. That's not good for business. So what are they going to do? Give you the drug, because that's what you're there for, right, Mason? Give me the drug. Well, we need our parents to be healthy too. What should we be doing, supplement-wise? Take everything. Please don't do that. Again, foundational stuff. A good multivitamin. We need more magnesium as adults. Vitamin D3. Vitamin B. What's the other one? Fish oil. All good stuff. That's a good foundation for every human being, because most of us are not getting that from our diet. There's other things we can take for more therapeutic issues that we might be dealing with temporarily. This is a good foundation. So what are our action steps? How about take this home, look at it, talk to the people that are in your household about what kind of changes we can make. Do we need to make all these changes right now? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But Are we going? Do we really need to do that right now?
Financially do that.
Right? Fine. It's just about making baby steps. If you just took 3 things that really hit home for you tonight, do those 3 things, and you'd all be happier and healthier. And then do 3 more.
Well, and something that we've done at our house is when it runs out, then we try to get something better.
Sure.
Because
And I'm not going to tell you to
I
go
don't
buy,
have-
throw everything away.
Right.
I would never tell you to
Don't
do that. Unless it's vegetable oil, you throw it away.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. But most of the stuff, listen, finish it, and then when you're like, hey, I'm running low on deodorant, hey, what deodorant should I get? What are the recommendations? We'll shoot you we'll shoot you a text and give you some links. No big deal. We can help you with all that. Are you guys on our YouTube channel? Have you guys subscribed to that or looked at it? We have tons of workshops on there. So if you want to learn more about nutrition, we have a workshop. More about toxins, we have a workshop. More about gut health and immunity, we have a workshop. Okay, we've been doing workshops for many years. We have a lot of stuff accumulated on there. You can take a look. But do you think that more people should have been here tonight?
Yes.
Was this information useful to you?
Yes.
How many moms do you know that you wish were here tonight? A lot. A lot. So on your clipboard, there is a sheet. We are going to be doing a community outreach dinner in the next 6 weeks or so. We're finalizing a date. It's going to hopefully be at Las Palmas right here. But the whole purpose of this is to bring this information to more people that need to hear it. I'm going to do maybe a smaller version of this, much shorter, like 25 minutes, like a couple points, okay? But we need to get this information to more people. So bring a friend. Bring somebody. So here's the thing about bringing a friend, especially these days, nobody likes to get out of their comfort zone. Nobody likes to push their thoughts on other people. That's not what we're here to do, and I don't want you to do that to anybody. But what I want you to think of is, amongst your group of friends, you might be the only person that knows this information. What happens if you're that only friend in your group of 5 friends who knows this information but doesn't tell any of their friends about it, and their kids are always getting sick? They're always going to the doctor. They're constantly getting antibiotics. And you still have this information. You haven't said anything.
They'll be mad at you.
They would be mad. They'd be upset. Once you understand this, you almost have like a duty to tell people about it, because it's kind of like taking the blue pill versus the red pill. Once you know the truth, there's no going back, and you need to help more people understand the truth. But I want to help the people that want our help. I just need your help finding these people. So we just ask you, get this information to as many people as possible so we can help them help themselves and their family.